Hey, my name is Mr. Smith. I'm a fourth grade teacher of math at Oak Grove Upper Elementary, and I wanted to go over one of the ways that we are currently working on multiplication in the fourth grade. I know a lot of us grew up using what's called the standard algorithm, which is the normal way of multiplication. I did the same thing. But one of the things that our state standards call for us to do is to make sure that our students know various ways of multiplication so that they can better understand the concept of multiplication. And we do that through things like distributive property, which they'll definitely use in algebra later on and in middle school a lot. And then we also use area models and partial products. And what I want to show you today is an example of what a partial product way of solving a multiplication problem looks like. That way, if any of your kids are bringing homework home, you guys can help them out at home and you'll know exactly what they're looking for. So I'm going to switch over to my document camera. I have a piece of paper right here, and I'm going to write a problem on it for you. We're just going to write a simple problem, and we're going to say 65 times 53. Now, most of the time in the standard algorithm, we know that we would say 65 times 53 is 3 times 5. Regroup your 1. 3 times 6 is 18, plus 1 is 19. You're going to annex the 0 right there because you moved over one place value. I can scratch that out. 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times 6 is 30, plus 2 is 32. And you put those together, and you get 3,455. And that's fine. That's called the standard algorithm, and that's the way most of us learned how to do the process. But what we're doing in fourth grade at the moment is we are teaching the same skill, we're just using a little bit different process so that we better understand what's actually happening when we do this, when we multiply like this, because there are a lot of steps when you do this that are converged into one step as opposed to seeing what you're actually adding up. So when we do partial products, what we're going to do is, I'm going to box that off to the side, we're going to take each of these place values and multiply it times both of these place values. So I'll start with the 5. This is a 5 in the ones place. So I'm going to take that 5 in the ones place, and I'm going to multiply it times the 5 in the tens place. That would be worth 50. So I would say 5 times 50. I'm also going to take that 5 in the ones place and multiply it by the 3 in the ones place. That would be 5 times 3. Along with that, I'm going to take the 6 here that's in the tens place. That 6 is worth 60. And I'm going to multiply it times the 5 in the tens place, and that's 60 times 50 because that 5 is worth 50. And it's also 60 times the 3 in the ones place. That's 60 times 3. Now I can simply use these to get what we call partial products. The word partial just means part of. Product is the answer to a multiplication problem. So when we solve each one of these, we are getting part of the product. It's a partial product. 5 times 50, we'd say 5 times 5 is 25, and there's 1 0. 5 times 3 is 15. 60 times 50, we could say 6 times 5 is 30. And there's 2 zeros to place on the end, so 60 times 50 is 3,000. 60 times 3, 6 times 3 is 18. And there's 1 0 to place on the end. Now that we have our 4 partial products, we can add them together for our final product. 0 plus 5 plus 0 plus 0 is going to be 5. 5 plus 1 is 6. 6 plus 0 is 6. 6 plus 8 is 14. I'm going to regroup that 1 to the top. 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 plus 1 is 4. And 3 right there, 3,455. We get the same answer. What this does, though, is it shows the students exactly what we're doing when we multiply, that it's important to include every place value in your multiplication. And a lot of students have an easier time picking up on how to do it this way as opposed to this way. Now that doesn't mean that we are not going to introduce the standard algorithm this year, because we will. We will talk about the standard algorithm and they will master the standard algorithm in fifth grade as part of their fifth grade curriculum. But this year we're focusing to start with on distributive property, area models, and partial products, which is what I just showed you. And those all use the process of breaking down each place value to multiply it by another one. If you ever have any questions for us, our math teachers are always glad to help any way we can because we want all our students to be successful. And I hope you have a wonderful day today. Thanks for taking the time to watch.